Did you hear? A quick search of finances on Answer the Public, and over half the searches had to do with handling finances in marriage and or preparing for divorce. I know you've probably heard that finances are a leading cause to relationship problems, and it's no wonder. It's hard to stay happy together when there's financial stress. Inside today's episode, we're going to talk about 4 questions your budget needs to be able to answer to ensure you're set up for financial and marital success. Regardless of your income level, these 4 steps make the ultimate difference. This is the Your Money, Your Life podcast where ambitious women come together to have clarity, prosperity, and confidence with their money without sacrificing precious time and well-deserved fun. So let's do this. Welcome back to another episode of the Your Money, Your Life podcast. I'm your host, Aimee Cerka. We talked last week about problems that we see come up and 4 things that we really needed to stop doing to be able to make finances not a problem in our relationship. But today I want to give you 4 questions that you can utilize to strengthen your relationship. All right. A little bit different here. So let's just get into it. Okay. The first question here I want to ask, or first question to ask you here, is there a right and wrong? Unless it's illegal, immoral, or ethical, no. Again, we talked about this a little bit last week. It's our perception and the way that we brought up. Yes, typically one of us is a spender and one of us is a saver, but we're bringing those entirely different upbringings together. And there's going to be disagreements. When you quit trying to prove that the other one is wrong, we're able to get worlds ahead. And the way that we do that is when things come up, I need you to stop and ask yourself, is there a right and a wrong? Okay. Second question, do you have a budget? Really simple question, right? Probably because 44% of people say money is the main source of stress, and they avoid examining the full picture for fear of what they'll find. Others also feel that they don't need a budget because it's not necessary. They're able to pay the bills. But the facts and the studies show that Americans overspend an average of $7,500 each and every year by not having a budget. So turning a blind eye, just ignoring it, isn't going to make it go away. We've talked about before, if you were just tracking expenses, that is not a budget. If you are paying the bills and that's all you can do to get by, that's not a budget either. Okay. So the second question is, do you have a budget? This episode of the Your Money, Your Life podcast is brought to you by Budgeting Simplified. Do you struggle with stress and overwhelm with budgeting? Or do you get frustrated that you spend so much time on your budget, yet at the end of the month, you're not actually getting ahead? Then Budgeting Simplified might be just for you. Inside of this course, you'll learn how to budget successfully in a simple manner that sets you up to create prosperity, freedom, and security so that you can budget without stress in just 4 weeks. To check out Budgeting Simplified and step into unstoppable finances with a budget that works for you, your money, your life, simply text budget to 817-969-4653 or visit aimeecerka.com/budget. And of course, if you need that link again, it's hanging out in the show notes for you. The third question that we have, do you have regular communication systems built into your life? Typically, again, one of us is handling the budget and one of us is not. And we don't need to feel held hostage by the other, okay? If you are the one that is doing the budgeting and doing that work and your spouse is coming to you and asking you hey, can we do this? And you're having to say no, you can feel the held hostage is one that I've been told before. You can feel like the bad guy. There's so many different feelings that come up when you don't have these communication systems built into play, because our budget really is almost like a third party. So you're on the same page with your spouse and you have to consult the budget. It's an extra leg on the stool, I guess. But if you don't have the communication systems built in that you can talk about like what's working, what's not, or you're not keeping secrets, you can discuss long-term goals, etc. Those things have to be built into it. Otherwise, we're going to have feelings of resentment or dread will come up because we don't have those effective ways to communicate. There's nothing wrong with one person being more hands-on the finances. Typically works best that way. I'm the one that does that in our household, but we have the communication systems built in so that we can talk about it and discuss things and consult the budget. It's not that I'm the one that's doing this. It's we've looked at the budget and the budget says no right now. This can be regular meetings. Like some people like will put a timer on it, they'll schedule it into their weekly calendar type thing. You don't have to do that. You can build it into everyday life. They both work as long as you commit to it and you work on this and you work on communicating. Really, just to be plain and simple. And then the fourth question that we have, am I committed or are you committed? Question to ask yourself, but are you committed to making this a priority long term? And often that's something that we see come up in really all areas of life. Like we don't make this a priority long term. We can work in spurts. We don't maintain it. That is why it's so important to have that support system in place. I mean, we can call it the instantaneous society that we live in. There's so many different factors. This isn't about like placing blame on any of those. This is about just realizing that we have to work to make things a commitment and just show up consistently with it long term, not just in 30-day sprints. Again, that's why we don't do 30-day no spend challenges here. To make this a success, I would schedule it, or at least prioritize it. If you have heard my productivity training, like I don't schedule things like that actually in my calendar, but I schedule them on the days that we have to take care of those or the week or whatever it might be. But you need to schedule it however you're going to schedule it and have support, have help. Yes, you can have support in a variety of different ways. Unless you're seeing someone that is specialized with finances in regards to mindset and your personal relationship with money. We're not just talking about having a financial advisor or a CPA. Those are great. They're great people to have on your team, but this is a different type of work that we need to do. The financial advisors are excellent at helping you manage the money that you already have, like your portfolio, and helping you do those things. Somebody that'll specialize in finances and work on the mindset and the way that we approach things, that makes a big difference. And even if you're working with somebody, just quick sidebar here, even if you're working with somebody in regards to mindset, I've had mindset coaches that I've worked with that probably thought they could help me handle my finances. And I'm sure they have something that I could have learned, but I could see their money mindset beliefs showing up in our conversation because it wasn't their specialty. So I wouldn't discount the value of that if you're working on improving your relationship with your money and your relationship with your spouse and your relationship overall. So there we have it. It's 4 questions to help you strengthen your relationship. Okay. First one was, is there a right and a wrong? Second one, do you have a budget? The third, do you have regular communication systems built into your life? And the last one was, are you committed to making this a priority for the long term? Now, if you're ready to make the budget a stress-free process. Make sure to check out Budgeting Simplified. Again, the link's in the show notes in case you missed it. Your challenge for today is pretty simple. I want to hear what your insight was from this episode. Which part of these 4 questions, or the context that was given to these 4 questions, which part stood out to you the most? Send me a message at Aimee Cerka on Instagram. I can't wait to hear from you, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now. Thank you so much for listening to the Your Money, Your Life podcast. Wondering what's next? When you're ready, there are different levels of support that you can use on the path to creating unstoppable finances and your unstoppable life. After all, your finances are unique and your support should be too. Ultimately, we'll create a customized plan to ditch financial struggle for good that works for you, your goals, your priorities, your life. Go to workwithaimee.com to get started with one of our most popular programs, or you can book a Q&A call with me and we'll figure out what your next step should be.